What's up everybody, it's Jackal here. So today we're going to go ahead and discuss MIRA, the new operator that's been showcased, teased if you will, that is going to be coming out for Year 2 Season 1 of Rainbow Six Siege, which is supposed to be due out in February. That is the official Rainbow Six month, so sometime during February, supposedly in the first week, maybe second week. That's what a lot of the speculation is. That's where it's going to happen. But anyways, enough of that. So Mira, she is the new operator for the Velvet Shell update that we've been teased. She's definitely a defender, based purely off of her loadout. And her loadout is a Vector, which is a submachine gun, and an ITA-12L, which many have come to find out that that's an Ithaca shotgun, full-blown shotgun. And her secondaries are the same as Jackal's. It is the ITA-12S, which is rumored to be basically a compact shotgun, like a sawed-off shotgun, if you will. So it's going to be slower or something to that effect, as well as the USP-40. But with the sawed-off shotgun, if it does react like if it's a two-shot barrel one, then it might fire 2 rounds really quick, and then you got to reload. Now onto her armor stats, speed. So based off of the trailer, she looks incredibly small. Looks like she doesn't have much armor at all, which is going to lead to 1 armor, 3-speed operator, defender. At the very most, it's going to be 2 armor, 2 speed. But I'm going to bet money that I would bet money that it's going to be 1 armor, 3 speed. And next thing you know, we're going to go ahead and talk about her ability. Like, what else? This is going to be the main topic of discussion here, because what is her ability? What does it do? Benefits, pros, cons, all that other stuff. So, based off of the trailer, what we see is when she's holding it up, there are 4 spikes, 2 on top, 2 on bottom, and she puts them on the reinforced wall, and those spikes act like anchors. And they push through and they anchor her equipment there, and when that happens, a hole gets blown open on the other side. Now the thing is, when you watch carefully, this might be an automatic thing. Like, once you set it, boom, it just happens, because when you look at it in the trailer, you don't see her activate like any secondary switch in her hand or anything. It's like once she sets it up and lets go, then it's just done, and it pushes the reinforcement, blows open the wall. So that to me just makes it an automatic. Once you set it, boom, set it, forget it, done, move on. Now to touch on the hole in the wall. So we'll go ahead and touch on the size first. How big is this window of opportunity? This window. It's about the size of 1 Habana set, 1 Habana charge, right? She has her pellets. It looks about the same size. So you set it up, and that's your width, height type of thing. Now, what can you do with this? How does this affect gameplay? Now, when we see in the video, she sets it up at standing height. She's standing up and she sets it up just like that. Now I'm most curious, and I believe that you could do this also crouching. You could set it up in a crouching state, and you could set it up at a standing state. However, I do not think it is a free range of motion like Cap can. See, Cap can, he could set his booby traps on a door, like almost at any, a wide range of heights. Like, he could go all the way down to the shins, all the way up to, the eyeballs of the enemy. So I don't think it's going to be that way. I just think it's going to be a set height when you're standing and a set height when you're crouching. And I do not think that you could set it on the floor in order to see feet. Which would actually it would be pretty good to have it like that, like indoors, because if you set it on the feet side of things, no matter what the enemy does, you'll be able to see them, whether they crawl, crouch, run. You'll be able to see their feet go through there. Whereas if it's just crouching height or standing height, if the enemy decides to crawl or crouch walk through, they might be able to to get by. So that's my thoughts. I think it can be crouch and or standing height. Now, the glass itself. The way this is my thoughts on it. I think that it is a one-way mirror, or not mirror, sorry, one-way window. At least to a degree, and I'll touch on that right now. It is a one-way window, either just by pure vision, or by bullets. I'll get on that later. But so, what does this mean? How does this affect gameplay? So, if it's a one-way vision, right, you can only see out and not in. Obviously, this helps the defenders because they see the enemy can't see them. They don't know what's going on or if they're watching that side. And it makes it very scary for the attacker to run through there just hoping that nobody's watching that, hole, that window. And now, does this window have health? So there's a few things here. One, if this leads to how many Mira is gonna have too. She's gonna have no more than 2. In any situation that I bring up right now, she's not gonna have no more than 2, because otherwise, that's just it would just, I don't know, she'd be too strong. No more than 2. If there's no health to the window and it just stays up indefinitely, well, as you could see, that's pretty damn strong, because now you just got pure vision and you have no risk in regards to the enemy shooting in, eventually breaking it, and now it's just a straight up line of sight for the attacker as well in order to shoot you through. And the other thing is, if it does have health, then that's where she's gonna have 2 of them, and then you gotta factor in them out. Well, is the risk of creating a line of sight worth the reward of getting the information of where the enemy is and potentially shooting them out? Much like a castle armor panel, it's a risk reward, because you could risk putting up armor panels all in one spot, but if you have a roamer and they're the last alive, you just made it so incredibly difficult for them to get through to the objective of wherever they need to go. So it's kind of that type of thing. Now, this is how I think it's going to work, and I'll link a video in the description below to show that this is a real thing. I think, one, it's a one-way vision glass. This one's up in the air. It might be a one-way vision glass type of thing where you can see out and not in. I also think it's a unilateral ballistic glass. Now, if you don't know what unilateral means, that is one direction, just one way. And couple that with that it's a ballistic glass, this means that it is, you could shoot out, but you cannot shoot in. So you could imagine how strong this would be for defenders. Being able to shoot out and not in is basically taking the presidential plane windows and reversing it, so that way, the defenders have the advantage now. But what does this mean for glass? Well, ballistic shield, or the one unilateral ballistic glass, has actually been created to withstand 7.62 rounds, as well as 5.56, which is standard for an M16 and most assault rifles, and from the outside, while still maintaining its integrity, which would then allow the people on the inside to be able to shoot out. So this would be able to withstand Glaz's sniper rifle shots whilst putting him at risk of being shot from the inside. Now, how is the vision going to happen? I think, if anything, they're probably going to end up doing it like a Montane shield. You're getting shot up all up in the face and all these cracks show up. I think it's going to be something like that. I don't think it's going to be extremely small. But this is a real thing. This product, this technology has been in the works for over 20 years. And I'll link, like I said, I'll link the video below, but they've been working on this stuff since like 95. And they had a working unilateral ballistic glass in 2009. So that's 14 years right there, and it's already 2017. So this has been in the works for over 20 years, as I said, like 22 years, I think. So if this is the case, she should only have one of these. If it is literally a unilateral ballistic glass, she should only have one. And does it have health at this point? I think it might be a lot of health that it has. It might even be more than a Tachanka shield, because this is a bigger piece of glass. It is, you know, sturdier. It's not broken into little chunks. So it's put on a reinforced wall, which means it has to have a very big health buff to, or not health buff, but just a lot of health to it before it gets destroyed. Now, with that being said, if it does get destroyed, does this mean that you just gave the Habana extra, like an extra hole, like if it was an extra charge? In my opinion, no, because if you look at the metal frames at the edges, this just means that it could be used to, you know, you won't be able to vault over it, basically, unless you actually blow the whole thing up. So, and which also, when you think about it, you could actually put a bandit charge on the thing, on the reinforced wall, with the metal with MIRA's equipment on there, and you could literally see where they're planning on thermiting or whatever, and that just makes it so much easier for bandit to bandit trick. There's so many different options that come from this, and if they do get a chance to Habana charge something, who's to say that you cannot, again, this is speculation theory, who's to say you cannot put MIRA's equipment on there to then block that off? Like, same thing with the thermite charge, depending on how wide it goes, which I think a thermite charge would be too big, but you get the point. If Habana puts something up, MIRA blocks it off, then the attacker has just wasted a Habana charge. You know what I mean? It opens up that kind of defense, that sort of strategy, all these different theories and speculations going on. So this video is running a lot longer than I really would have hoped, because I just started going off on tangents and all this other things. Like I said, I'll link video description in the description below showing the unilateral ballistic glass, which I think it is. So I'm just going to recap what I think this is going to be. 1 armor, 3 speed, unilateral ballistic glass, one-way vision, and that's basically it. I mean, I don't think that there's really, as far as the health goes, I think it's going to be, if it is going to have health, it's going to be something like 1,000 health. Or if not, maybe it's just a permanent fixture, unless it gets blown the fuck open by a Habana or a thermite charge, where Habana just puts it straight on the glass and then boom, that's it. I think that's how it's really going to be. It's going to react just like if it was another piece of the reinforcement wall. It will not go down unless you have an exothermic charge or a Habana charge. So yeah, I kind of went off on tangent again. I apologize for that. So let me know what you think. Do you think it's going to be any different than what I stated? Again, 1 armor, 3 speed, permanent fixture that doesn't get destroyed unless you have a Habana charge on there or a thermite charge, unilateral ballistic shield, or not shield, unilateral ballistic glass, as well as one-way vision, and she will only have one if it is exactly as I mentioned, because any more than that is just way too fucking strong. So let me know what you think, thoughts, all that other good stuff. I love communicating with you guys. I mean, I've talked to people on Reddit, I've had conversations in the comments and Facebook pages. It's really fun to talk to all of you in regards throwing these ideas around. So join in on the conversation, let me know what you think, leave a like, it really helps me out. I truly appreciate it, and get ready, because I'm gonna be pumping out more content regularly as the time goes on, as more information comes out, gameplay, all this other stuff, as well as touching on a variety of games. If you couldn't tell already, I go ahead and post For Honor, Resident Evil, Street Fighter, all this stuff. So enough of that shameless plug. I'll catch y'all later. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, I look forward to hearing what you all have to say. Till next time, Jackal out.